Welcome to the McAfee Taft webinar series. The topic for this webinar, Under Control, Managing FMLA Leave. For many HR and benefits professionals, the Family Medical Leave Act remains one of the most complex, confusing, and time-consuming programs to administer, monitor, and effectively track. Employers not only have an extensive checklist of do's and don'ts to follow, including how to handle employees' sensitive personal and medical information, but they also have to rely on employees to adequately communicate and cooperate with them throughout the process. In this presentation, we will go beyond the basics to address some of the most common yet challenging FMLA compliance issues facing employers. Our presenters are McAfee Taft Labor and Employment Attorneys Paige and Charlie Plumb. They represent employers in all phases of employment law and labor relations, and are frequent speakers and authors on workplace issues.
Thank you, Brad. Managing FMLA issues in the workplace, it can be very difficult. It's one of the most challenging areas for employers to navigate. So our webinar today is focusing really on non-military FMLA leave, and Paige and I have identified the areas that seem to present the most problems for employers. These are the questions, and we face the most from our employers. So today, Paige and I are going to cover how and when employers should recognize a need or potential need for FMLA leave. We'll talk about obtaining the right medical information. Then we'll cover employers designating a leave as FMLA and requiring employees to use their paid time off at the same time. We'll touch on FMLA leave for family members and intermittent leave and how to control and manage intermittent leave. We'll also talk about health insurance while on FMLA leave, the issue of employees returning to work after they have completed FMLA leave, and then we'll wrap it up with addressing potential FMLA abuse. So Paige, could you get us started with how the need for leave potentially arises for employers and what they'll be facing in that context, please?
Sure. So the need for FMLA leave arises usually in one of two ways. The easy one is the employee comes to the employer and asks for FMLA leave. The second way that the need for leave could arise is the employer learns that an employee has to take leave and that it may be for an FMLA qualifying reason. So, for example, if the employee disclosed that they have a diagnosis of some kind, maybe it's depression, and then they start having some attendance issues, they start needing to go to doctor's appointments for that, this may be enough for the employer to designate the employee's absences as FMLA qualifying. And really quick, just to do an overview of FMLA qualifying reasons for leave. I'm sure many of you know what those are, but let's review them really fast. First, birth of a child and to care for the newborn child. Second, placement with the employee of a child for adoption or foster care. Third, care for the employee's spouse, son, daughter, parent with a serious health condition. Fourth, the employee's own serious health condition, which makes them unable to perform their job functions. Fifth, a qualifying exigency arising out of the fact that the employee's spouse, son, daughter, parent is a military member on covered active duty. And then sixth, this is called the military caregiver leave, when you've got to care for a covered service member who's related to the employee as a spouse, son, daughter, parent, next of kin. So those are the 6 main FMLA qualifying reasons for leave.
Now we're going to be focusing on the FMLA leave that's non-military. Is that right today, Paige?
Yeah, today we're going to talk about the first 4 qualifying reasons for leave, and we're not really going to cover the military types of leave with today's webinar.